What the is the okay? I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm saying it. There was one moment that I wanted to mention here as well. Tulsi Gabbard is the definition of a Bernie to Trump pipeline leftists pretend doesn't exist. Tulsi Gabbard in 2020 endorsed Joe Biden. Like, do these people have any self-respect or decency? Like, she was a grifter crank through and through, is what I said, right? Like, as in, I don't think she's like pro-Biden either. She's just a grifter. She's just a crank and a grifter and is like trying to fit into any lane that she can get into, okay? It's so stupid that these guys will personally run these narratives, you know? Tulsi endorsed Biden in 2020. Okay, and she endorsed Bernie in 2016 law. She also sat on the board of the Sanders Institute. She was literally the vice chair of the DNC, man. The f*** are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Why is it that Facts Lives Matter and all these other people are just like so delusional? I don't understand it. Like, how do you not know basic shit? How do you not know basic shit, like basic facts? I'm not even saying Tulsi Gabbard is like a institutionalist, okay? Despite the fact that, once again, she was the vice chair of the DNC and also on top of that endorsed Joe Biden last time around, right? Because I don't place any emphasis on anything that she does because she was vying for the Tucker Carlson host slot. She's never not been a grifter, okay? And I know this better than anybody else because I serve 3-minute ad breaks at the top of the hour. I grift, okay? At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. You might be thinking, like, that's a grift. That's not even a real thing. Like, that doesn't happen because you don't see it because you're subscribed for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Are you going to briefly cover France? Sure, dude. Okay? Sure. How about you cover your eyes for the next 3 minutes, though, because a 3-minute ad break is coming for you, okay? Right at 12:00 p.m., you know, right on the dot. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Okay? I just don't personally understand how these guys operate in the ways that they do. It doesn't make any dang sense to me. But you know what also doesn't make sense to me? Trump's NFT. He dropped an NFT. My goat, my king.
Is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50 all-new stunning digital trading cards. It's really something. These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins. Here's the best part. I'm doing great things for my Trump digital card collectors. First, there's the real physical Trump cards. Purchase 15 or more of my Trump digital trading cards and we'll mail you a beautiful physical trading card. It's really, I think, quite something. Each physical trading card has an authentic piece of my suit that I wore for the presidential debate, and people are calling it the knockout suit. I don't know about that, but that's what they're calling it. So we'll cut up the knockout suit and you're going to get a piece of it, and we'll be randomly autographing 5 of them, a true collector's item. This is something to give your family, your kids, your grandchildren. Number 2 is to purchase 75 of my Trump digital trading cards, and you will also be invited to join me for a gala dinner at my beautiful country club in Jupiter, Florida. We really have tremendous dinners with my collectors. Have a lot of fun together. We're gonna have a good time. I'm keeping my Trump digital trading cards at the same price of $99 each. We've done that right from the beginning. So go to collecttrumpcards.com. It's really easy to buy. You just need an email address and a credit card or crypto. You know, they call me the crypto president. I don't know if that's true or not, but a lot of people are saying that. So don't miss out. Go to collecttrumpcards.com.
Dude, he's doing it. He's doing it. My goat. My goat, dude. Look at these cards, dude. Look at these cards.
A popular demand, I'm doing a new series of...
Have you ever considered doing right-wing grifting? I feel like it's so profitable and your skills would make you a good tier grifter. Lol. I know, it would. The only time where I consider it is when I look at a TikTok from the Fear and podcast from our latest episode where I call Harry Daniels some twink. And there are people in the comment section being like, twink is a slur. No, it's not. Okay, it's not. And then hella people are saying I'm homophobic, which is true. I am homophobic. That's the only time where I'm like, maybe I should actually quit this like leftist bullshit. You know what I mean? It's time to quit that shit. Pull up the Crypto Nation Trump card. It's totally Alec Baldwin being pulled up by AI. If you buy 5 Trump cards, you get a pair of Trump sneakers. Oh,
Trump
I'm getting
digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50 all new stunning digital trading cards. It's really something. These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins. Here's the best part. I'm doing great things for my Trump digital card collectors. First, there's the real physical Trump cards. Purchase 15 or more of my Trump digital trading cards and we'll mail you a beautiful physical trading card. It's really...
Oh, you got to buy 15 fake ones to get the one real one, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. What the f?
I think quite something. Each physical trading card has an authentic piece of my suit that I wore for the presidential debate, and people are calling it the knockout suit. I don't
I bet if you screen printed them and put them on a card stock, you can make a whopping $5. This guy, man. What an incredible place that we're at now in the world, you know? He only heard crypto when people were calling him crypto fascists. I personally love the crank route that he is diving into. He is going in the exact opposite direction that he was supposed to be going in. And it's like kind of too late for him to like obviously swap everything and be moderate. Like he had the wipeout moment after the assassination attempt and he flubbed it. So now he's just like, no, I'm leaning on my worst instincts. I'm going to be the absolute weirdest person and I'm going to run a campaign that is generational. Okay. In terms of how insane the things that we're doing. If you think you got my instincts right, let me tell you, okay, I have none. I have no instincts. I'm out of my dang mind. Okay, bro, you were loving the word crank this last week. Yeah, I wonder why. First of all, I talk about cranks quite frequently on this broadcast, but I wonder why I've been talking about it a lot more frequently now. Perhaps because 2 of the most prominent figureheads in the crank movement have endorsed Donald Trump back to back, Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. That's where we're at. We're jorking our peanuts and we're cranking them too. Ana bana öğlen babam yapacak mı? Sonra yapabilir mi yoksa? Tamam.
I don't know about that, but that's what they're calling it.
Okay.
So we'll cut up the knockout suit and you're going to get a piece of it, and we'll be randomly autographing 5 of them, a true collector's item. This is something to give your family, your kids, your grandchildren. Number 2 is to purchase 75 of my Trump digital trading cards, and you will also be invited to join me for a gala dinner at my beautiful country.
Bro, he does not. What the Who is this? Define crank in your own words. Yes. Someone who is like abrasive and interested in like things that are outside of like normal political ideology. Oftentimes people who consider themselves heterodox thinkers that are really, really, really invested in like one weird thing that they will never give up on. Like going back to the gold standard, you know what I mean? Or abolishing the Fed, or any number of different like individual policies that attract some of these people who are like anti-establishment guys. Some people can be cranks and still maintain like a normal posture. They can hide amongst the regular, gen pop, right? You can be like an anti-vaxxer and still get slotted into, I don't know, one party or the other, right? And obviously with like the Republicans getting weirder and weirder, you will see more cranks moving in the direction of the Republican Party, but like they don't really represent like a significant constituency. Yeah, crank means a fringe politician often seeped in weird pseudoscience and cult dynamic stuff. LaRouche is a perfect example. And yeah, single policy usually. Yep. Do you think the COVID vaccines were fine? No, but only because it didn't make me gay enough or autistic enough. Like it made me only like a little gay and a little autistic, and I wanted like full autism, full-blown autism and full-blown homosexuality. Is RFK a crank then? Yes, 100p.
At my beautiful country club in Jupiter, Florida. We really have tremendous dinners with my collectors. Have a lot of fun together. We're gonna have a good time. I'm keeping my Trump digital trading cards at the same price of $99 each. We've done that right from the beginning. So go to collecttrumpcards.com. It's really easy to buy. You just need an email address and a credit card or crypto. You know, they call me the crypto president. I don't know if that's true or not, but a lot of people are saying that. So don't miss out. Go to collect.
Look at how bro, they put his head on Tom Fitton's body. This whole commercial is very normal and definitely not weird. Bro, this is why, like, this is a perfect opportunity for someone who was like even a little bit invested in like bettering American society on the Democratic side to just run the table, okay? To go on a generational run. Like, you literally just have to be normal. You just have to have a normal campaign, and you have to be normal. Like, just if Tim Walz was at the top of the ticket and was just like saying, you know, I want healthcare. I want to like give people healthcare treatment. It's ridiculous that like medical bankruptcy is still a thing in this country. You know, like if there was like anyone doing that, this would be not even like, this would not even be a question. We'd be talking about like Ronald Reagan style wipeout for the Democrats. Okay. Like every day, every goddamn day, this dude comes out with a new thing where you're like, I cannot believe you did this. Every day they are throwing. Okay. Every dang day they are throwing. I just don't understand it. If they could instead like do interviews and be like normal humans instead of capitulating to the right and avoiding media when they get backlash from the population, we would have an easy peasy win. Wait, what? No, they're not. What are you saying? No, they don't get backlash from the population. They just get backlash from the media. We're way too partisan now. 2008 Obama was the ceiling. Who's throwing harder though, Kamala or Trump? Trump. What? Not even a question. Like this race should not be close. Okay. This race should not have even been close with Joe Biden, but he was a carcass. So it was one that he was going to lose. But the race now should not be close either. And the entire momentum that they got, like, how do you forget the lessons that you should have learned from swapping out Joe Biden, doing something that most people said was impossible to do, swapping out Joe Biden against, the DNC chair and against like the wishes that the Democratic Party normally, or against the normal instincts of the Democratic Party, and then getting Tim Walz on that ticket too, and seeing that wave of support increase dramatically, only to immediately turn around and start moderating. Like, you're going to start cutting away at the momentum. They're going to do it. Tim Walz is doing for the Democrats PR-wise what Tim Tebow did for the Florida football program 2006 to 2009. Yeah. Trump is already the bag up. Like, he is basically doing every single thing he can to just move in the exact opposite direction of the direction he's supposed to be moving on. The issue, however, is that I'm not entirely convinced he could actually moderate this far in.
Go to collecttrumpcards.com. Go right now and collect your piece of American history. Let's have fun together and enjoy my Trump cards. We're going to have a lot of fun. We'll be talking about it for a long time. Thank you very much. Have a good time.
Yeah, we will be. No, we won't. Because it seems like every week there's a new thing that this guy does where you're like, I can't believe he did this. Why did he do this? What an insane thing to do. And obviously, it is, one, securing the endorsement of Tulsi Gabbard. That's obviously a huge one. And then putting RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard on his transition team.
Harris is hitting the campaign trail tomorrow for the first time since the Democratic National Convention. With just 70 days till Election Day, Harris is taking her message on a bus tour across Georgia, while former President Trump is campaigning across the Midwest. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang joins me now for more on that. Selena, the Trump campaign has confirmed to ABC News that Trump's former rival, Robert Kennedy Jr., and former Democratic lawmaker Tulsi Gabbard are joining his presidential transition team. What can you tell us about their roles and how did this come about? What's the strategy here?
Yeah, Diane, well, I mean, it's unclear exactly what role they would play in the transition team, but in confirming this information to us, a senior Trump campaign advisor said this comes as they're trying to expand their support across partisan lines. Now, RFK Jr. and Gabbard are both former progressive Democrats who more recently left the party. RFK Jr. said in a recent interview, in a new interview with Tucker Carlson, that he's looking forward to joining this presidential transition team and that he's going to play a role in picking people who would serve in this next Trump administration. It's only days ago that RFK Jr. suspended his independent bid for president. He formally endorsed Trump. This is despite a very acrimonious history between RFK Jr. and Trump. RFK Jr.'s campaign was also in part fueled by conspiracy theories around vaccine and COVID. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, she only yesterday formally endorsed Donald Trump, but she has already been playing a role in his debate preparation, sources tell us. Now, Tulsi Gabbard does not have huge name recognition, and RFK Jr. was only polling in the mid-single digits.
Wow, I can't believe Tulsi Gabbard, who is most prominently featured as a Fox News substitute host for Tucker Carlson, would do this. I can't believe she would do this. I cannot believe Tulsi Gabbard, who, once again, and I'm going to repeat this, is a substitute host for Tucker Carlson on the Tucker Carlson time slot when Tucker Carlson used to be on Fox News, would endorse Donald Trump. Wow. I am shocked. Okay, shocked, I tell you. I am so confusing. How could this have happened? Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. It's awesome. Respect. Respect to everybody involved. You know, respect to the Trump camp. They're doing the dang thing. They're doing it big out here, okay? Putting numbers on the board. The Tulsi Gabbard constituency is so big, so huge. You don't even understand it, okay?
But Trump is hoping that they could make the difference in these battleground states that could come down to just a few thousand votes.
Meanwhile, Selena, Vice President Harris is getting some new endorsements.
I remember you screaming at Chatters at 2020, simping for her against Bernie. Not even Yang Gang had a bigger fallout. Yeah. My dad loves Tulsi, but is super pro-Ukraine. Yeah, I'm sorry to say this to you, Paul Timothy. Like, I genuinely hate to bring this up to you, but like, your dad is horny, okay? It's a very weird thing to probably realize about your own father, but your dad's horny. That's it. Like, there's not really much else going on there, okay? Like, I doubt your dad is like some weird Hindu nationalist. I doubt your dad is, you know, Islamophobic in the way that like Tulsi Gabbard is, because there's plenty of other Islamophobic politicians that he could be simping for. I think your dad's just horny. He listens to the Joe Rogan podcast and he gets horned up, sobbing. That's it. Tulsi Gabbard has nothing else going on.
Endorsements from aides to former Republican presidential nominees. How significant is that?
Yeah, so this is coming from more than 200 Republican staffers who worked for prominent Republicans, including former President George W. Bush and Senators McCain and Romney. They are saying in this letter that they're calling on independents and conservatives who came out for President Biden in 2020 to do the same for Kamala Harris in 2024. They say that Donald Trump poses a threat to America's national security, to democracy at home and abroad. They acknowledge in this.
I know you don't care, but it is the only people like Jimmy Dore who recently said that Donald Trump is by far to the left of Harris who are fans of Tulsi. Dude, what fucking planet are these people living on? I don't understand, okay? I don't even talk about these people because they're completely irrelevant, dude. I'm sorry. Like, you have nothing decipherable about your worldview, okay? Like, yeah, Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party are right-wing, okay? Yes, they are. They're center-right on a lot of issues. They are objectively right-wing on immigration, right? For sure. But like, to say that Donald Trump is more progressive is so insane. Like, what are we talking about? My anger and resentment for the Democratic Party stems from the fact that they literally try to move to the right all the time and get close in proximity to the Republican Party. The Republican Party has never done anything remotely progressive. You are out of your mind. They're waving mass deportation flags at the RNC. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh. Donald Trump is Far right, 37%. Right, 16%. Leans right, 10%. Centrist, 8%. Leans left, 3%. Left, 5%. Far left, 10%. What the is the... Okay, I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm swapping jackets. I'm done. We're done. You've never answered a survey in a weird way to mess with the data? No. What the I don't know how you could ever arrive at this conclusion. Like, I don't know how, like, what do they mean? What Nazi is so far right that they think he's far left? Like, is that what they mean? Is that what they're saying? Like, he's a Nazi and the Nazis were socialist or something? Is that what they're saying? I don't. MAGA communists? No. MAGA communists are not showing up at 10% on any poll. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. I don't know, man. I've given up. I've given up trying to understand. How is he not far left? Donald Trump. How is he not far left? Can you point to one far left? What do you think far left is? And can you point to one far left policy that Donald Trump has? Can you point to one far left policy that Donald Trump has had ever in his life? Like, what? This has got to be bait, right? We're just having fun in the chat at this point. People want me to go crazy. Communist tendencies. Oh my God, I don't know if he's baiting. What do you mean by communist tendencies? Please explain. Please explain. What is a communist tendency of Donald Trump? What do you think communist tendencies are? Please. Frantically Googling. Okay, but like, he's not going to be able to come up with an answer that makes sense because that's how far he is from the reality. Why does this person's vote matter more than mine? The Democratic Party needs these guys, okay? They don't need you, you dummy, you simpleton. You shut the fuck up and vote for the Democratic Party. This guy, on the other hand, the Democratic Party has to get this guy on board, okay? Here's how we can win. That's what they say. I wonder what the Venn diagram between people who think Hitler was a socialist and Republicans against Trump is like. Here's how Bernie can still win. No, he's still in here. He ain't got nothing. He's just chirping still. He's like, the bot's broken. He's just like repeating. No, he's just repeating things that he thinks are like good owns or something. That's not even what I'm saying. Okay, we're done. I gave up on the bot. Okay. Actual email Trump campaign sent this AM. This could be my final message. Oh no, they're killing him. Oh no. Oh no. They're taking him out back and putting one in his dome. It's over. Like a horse that got injured too hard, okay? He's off to the glue factory with you, JD. Guys, if you don't respond to this email right now, they're gonna kill me. They're putting me down.
Letter that there are policy differences between them and the Harris team, but they say that the alternative would be, quote, untenable.
Now, both Harris and Trump are hitting the campaign trail this week. What are you watching for there?
So Harris is going to be gearing up for a bus tour through battleground Georgia with her running mate, Governor Tim Walz. She would have been off the trail for several days before this. She's been pretty quiet since the Democratic National Convention wrapped up last week. We've been told by sources that she's intensely focused on debate preparation. That first face-off with Trump just 2 weeks away now, and this is going to be high stakes. There's a lot riding on this, as Harris hasn't yet had a lot of unscripted, off-the-cuff moments. Donald Trump, for his part, he's focused on the Midwest states. They're focusing on delivering a message about the economy. They're likely to continue to hammer the Biden and Harris administration for high inflation over the last few years, although inflation has been cooling. And later today, J.D. Vance is going to be delivering a message on the economy in Michigan, and he'll be doing it behind bulletproof glass. That's part of new safety measures that were installed after Trump's assassination attempt. It's going to be at an outdoor venue in Michigan.
All right, senior White House.
Kamala Harris is far left 37%, 15% say left, leans left 12%, leans right 2%, right, far right 8%, centrist 13%. I mean, this makes more sense. You have to remember, like, the people's understanding of politics is like silly, right? Like, I think Kamala Harris is, you know, somewhere in the center, probably center right. And that is because, like, she has a bunch of policies that are, like, objectively more progressive than other Democrats or Democrats prior. But overall, I mean, she's literally a cop. She called herself the top cop. Like, all of that stuff is crazy. Like, she's genuinely running on being a cop. Like, these are all things that should mark her down as, like, a center-right figurehead. But, of course, Americans are so brain broken, they're like, she's far left. Some of those people, I think, say she's far left because she's a black woman, probably, you know. The 37% far left is more insane than the 8% far right. Yeah. I think we need to consider who has the mandate of heaven. Still left disguise. She's just far right on the border, on foreign policy, on Israel, on NATO. She's definitely not a Bush-style neocon. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. She's secretly a socialist. She's secretly Comrade Kamala. Republican Minnesota Senate candidate Royce White says suburban women voters are suckers. Nice. Good stuff. Vance calls me weird, but then he lies about how his kids were conceived. Who does that? Bro, they did infertility treatments. What are you talking about? Why are you talking about his semen, dude? God, these guys they're throwing so hard.
House correspondent Selena Wang, thank you.
Kamala
Harris called out for sexist, misogynist campaign. What? Oh my God, they're throwing darts at the board, baby. I love the Republicans. The Republican messaging is just like darts on the board. See what sticks. Okay, who knows? Something might. Joshua something 17. Thank you for the 5 community gifted subs. Can you explain the difference between conservative and neoconservative? It's just not. It's a distinction without a difference for the most part. Neocons are just like even more pro-war than regular cons are. It's just a wave under the Bush admin, a wave that blew the fuck up. That was like constantly, like John Bolton would be a neocon, like consistently trying to interfere in like other countries' affairs, like past like the average conservative would. The neocon shtick during the 90s was that they were conservatives but not racist. Aren't they also like anti-education and liberal arts and stuff? No. What? That's every Republican, dude. Neolibs and neocons seem like the same people in a different color shirt. No, neoliberalism is a right-wing ideology that is like that's a little bit more tangible. Neoliberalism is government interference or free market trade. Free market principles above all else. Let free enterprise thrive. And also, you can actually interfere in the market as long as it benefits corporations. That's neoliberalism. It is privatization of everything. And then also shifting the scales at times in at the behest of free enterprise. It has nothing to do with like you can do authoritarian governance if you want. Pinochet is a great example of this. Obviously, you can have whatever kind of administration that you have, as long as corporate interests are protected. The idea that free enterprise will be able to bring about the best possible outcomes, no matter what. Yeah, neoliberalism. The government exists to make the world safe for corporations. Yes, that's the most reductive, but the best way to explain it. And plenty of liberals are neoliberal as well, and plenty of conservatives, almost all conservatives are neoliberal as well. Liberalism equals free market is good for the market. Neoliberalism, free enterprise can solve every problem in society. Yes. And that the difference I would say between like liberalism and neoliberalism is that, I mean, a lot of people lie about their actual ambitions and aspirations, but neoliberals do not have an issue with like market interference from the government as long as it is creating results that are more beneficial for corporations. Like subsidies and whatnot are looked at as a positive, whereas liberals might have an issue, like liberal in the political theory understanding, not in the American understanding. Liberalism is supposed to be like liberal attitudes are supposed to look at corporate subsidies and say, well, this is not real free market capitalism. We don't like it. Whereas neoliberalism is always going to put their hand on the scale. What would someone like Trudeau fall under? Virtually every single Western politician falls under the banner of neoliberalism. In the post-Thatcher Reagan era, most Western politicians, regardless of whatever party loyalty that they have, regardless of what party that they're under, are always going to be neoliberal. Neoliberalism thinks problems can be solved by making sure people have access to markets. Is not concerned about inequality in those markets. Yes. Neoliberalism is the forcible expansion of private markets through destroying welfare programs and forced deregulation. It's private markets, free market or not, above all else. Yeah. It is also, unfortunately, the way that the world works, the Western world works in general. Anyway, former Dem helping Trump prepare for Harris debate. That is, of course, we are, of course, talking about the person that obviously endorsed Donald Trump recently, Tulsi Gabbard.
All right. Meanwhile, the Trump and Harris campaigns are battling over debate rules as the candidates head to key swing states this week.
Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy joins us live from the White House. Hey, Peter.
And a familiar name that we can talk about this morning, Tulsi Gabbard. She had the sharpest lines of attack against then Senator Harris on the debate stages in 2020. She is now helping Donald Trump prepare for his debate with Harris behind the scenes, and she is officially joining his effort to beat her.
It's not about Democrats versus Republicans. Right. It's about having a president who stands for freedom, peace, and prosperity, which is Donald Trump, versus having a president in Kamala Harris who attacks our freedoms and censors us and uses political retaliation, who has pushed us to the brink of war, and who's created this economic hardship for Americans across the country.
The Harris campaign is showing their hand in terms of priorities, visiting just one battleground state this week, but for 2 days, Georgia. Trump has Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania ahead before the weekend, as a very unlikely celebrity is coming forward saying they hope Joe Biden does something that Trump did. Kim Kardashian has posted on X. Last week, I had the opportunity to visit the Department of Justice. She goes on to say, I hope President Biden takes the opportunity to make clemency a significant part of his legacy before he leaves office. Hashtag clemency now. President Biden has been joking before he went on vacation that he will campaign for or against Harris, whatever she thinks would help. It seems that the calculation, at least for now, has been made that he should just stay out of it. Back to you.
Which he's doing a good job at. And Peter, speaking of clemency, the conventional wisdom is Joe Biden will pardon his son, Hunter, after the election, right?
Well, that depends if you believe what Joe Biden and all of his top officials have said, which is that he will not, under any circumstances, pardon Hunter Biden.
I bet. Go ahead.
It's a big
He's
but.
only going to have the power of clemency and the pardon until January. So he definitely could. It's not like he's never done anything that he, contrary to what he's said. But it's possible. Another thought about this, it is possible that he just has it worked out with Kamala Harris. Something like, I'll endorse you, but if something comes down when you're the president, I need you to let him go.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got to get convicted again. He's got some in September or not, get exonerated.
That case
Thank
is
you,
bigger.
Peter. I bet that was part of the deal. I will step down if you endorse, I'll endorse you, Kamala. Kamala has to be the nominee, and Kamala, you have to promise me that you're going to pardon my son. Or if she doesn't win in November, then he'll pardon him before he steps down.
Remember, James Comer wraps up his investigation. Said, by the way, there's $27 million that flowed to the Biden family now that the Bidens are flowing right out of the White House. It is kind of amazing, before we get into this, how many Biden officials are now Kamala Harris officials, just like that. The same people telling us that Joe is fine, he's going to be great, we're going to win the re-election. Now it's like, oh, I work for the other person, right? Well, is there anyone in the White House at all? Yeah. Do they even have someone to vacuum?
And he's on vacation again for the second week in a row.
Right.
What's
Bro, you can't be pro-Trump and then complain about Joe Biden vacationing, okay? Like, you can't do that. What do you mean? Like, I'm not libbed up by any means, but, like, that motherfucker was golfing every goddamn day of the week. Like, what are we talking about, dude? That's crazy. Bro, they're just making shit up and reporting it as news. That's crazy, Lamau. Is it? Is it that crazy? It is Fox News. They do that a lot. Like, that's kind of all they do. How many times has President Trump played golf? Daytime visits the golf club since inauguration, with evidence of playing golf on at least 142 visits as of November 8, 2020. He made 285 total visits to the golf clubs. Trump on average golf once every 5.6 days. 2017, when things were good. COVID really fucked him up, though. Look at this. Only 47. He had to do those pressers and shit. I did not grow up here. Was American media never, ever objective and unbiased? No. I showed this data to my dad, and he said, we on the right don't trust Wikipedia anymore. I was like, there are sources? Dude, listen. The more you go down the right-wing rabbit hole, the less you will rely on data, okay? That's it. Because reactionary sentiment has nothing to do with, like, actual evidence, empirical evidence. Like, it's just vibes based, okay? It's all vibes all the way up and down. That's it. You can't reason with a person that is, like, doing that. I mean, this also kind of goes back to the argument that we were making about the tax margins or the tax brackets. Like, you might be shocked to find out that, like, you know, there are hundreds of millions of Americans who genuinely don't understand what, like, basic tax brackets work, and actually think that if they make more, they're going to end up making less because the government's going to take away more of their money, not realizing that all of that directly goes to the top of the hour ad break avoidance fee. Okay? That's why I'm an advocate for, obviously, lower taxes in general, because I want your take-home pay to at least have $6 additional every month so that you can, at the top of the hour, avoid the incoming 3-minute ad break by subscribing for $6. Now, if you don't have the $6, maybe you have an Amazon Prime account that you can connect to your Twitch account and get one free Prime subscription that you can use on your favorite broadcaster. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. My dude, people don't even know what their own politics are. My dad says he's a moderate but simultaneously advocates for executing landlords. I'm not joking. That's awesome. Whenever I show my MAGA coworker data, he just says, look around you, crime everywhere, fentanyl, etc. That's awesome. Oh, my husband has gone down the right-wing rabbit hole and he no longer trusts data and studies released by the CDC and government. He thinks all the countries and government workers are all in on covering up real data. I don't know how to save him from, oh no. That sucks, chatter. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know if there's a way to save that.
What's interesting is
our
that
country is running itself.
That circle of people around Joe Biden who, right up until the debate, said, you know, go for it. You're the only person who can beat Trump. It's like, you're fantastic. You're great. Wow, we saw that show. Get out. We're going to work for her.
Right.
It was that quick.
They never acknowledge it. They just pop up representing somebody else.
Well, it works.
All right, let's talk about the thing that's most important to Americans, and that is the economy.
Identify what is making him so angry and, like, try to fix that, you know, because there's usually some other reason. Usually there's like a separate reason that makes these people so resentful and angry. And if you can, like, identify it and try to offer, like, a reasonable solution to that, potentially they will move beyond. You know, you gotta help people be more confident in themselves. That's it. There's not really much else you can do, especially when someone is like, the CDC data is lying to us. Man, that's sad.
Economy. And if you look at some of the stats about what means the most, the Fox News poll, the top issue of the day, in February, 37% of you said the economy. Now, 38% say it's not going away.
Harris and Walls are doing CNN interviews 9 p.m. Thursday, just announced. Let's go, baby. We're back. We're back. Dana Bosch Dana Fash is doing a Harrison Wall sit-in with CNN for exclusive first joint interviews since the campaign began. Oh my God, I'm gonna nut. Yeah, you can't use logic to get someone out of a position they didn't use logic to get themselves into. Yeah. By the way, it extends to crime data in San Francisco where crime is down. The right-wing response is, well, yeah, because no one bothers reporting to the police anymore since nothing ever gets done. And then you ask them for actual data to back up this claim. They have none. So you literally cannot deal with that at any point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's Jank. Jank said that. Jank says that. He said that to me. It's Unc logic. As Trump claims ABC debate rules agreed on to definitely include muted mics, same as CNN debate, Harris campaign suggests otherwise. Both candidates have publicly made clear their willingness to debate with unmuted mics for the duration of the debate to fully allow for substantive exchanges between the candidates. But it appears Donald Trump is letting his handlers overrule him. Sad, spokesman Amar Musa said in a statement. Larry Krasner is overseeing the largest decrease in homicides in the country right now. By the way, good luck convincing Crime Panic Andes, though. I know. It's like, how did that happen? Where they tried to undemocratically overthrow the woke George Soros DA, Larry Krasner, and he didn't go away. And literally, homicides are down 43% in Philadelphia. 43. It was the only aspect of crime that actually had gone up. Unless you literally think that they're just not reporting murders anymore. How the f do you agree to, like, how? The other aspect of like the crime shit that I keep seeing over and over again that I'm shocked that I never actually even brought up is like when people go, oh dude, in California, it's like under $900. It's not shoplifting laws in California mean that like it's a misdemeanor crime and punishable up to 6 months in county jail and $1,000. Here. Post falsely claims shoplifting goods worth less than $900 is not a crime in California. Okay. This is, of course, fake. Several U.S. companies have closed stores in major cities. By the way, I love the fact check also having false statements. Several U.S. companies have closed stores in major cities as organized retail theft continues to eat into profits. That's bullshit. That's not why they closed retailers. They lied. That was a lie. You're literally doing a fact check on one lie while repeating another lie. Except here's another part of the story that is also stupid. Other states, including red states, have higher numbers than $900. Shoplifting is a misdemeanor. According to the American States Penal Code, shoplifting applies to stolen goods with a maximum value of $950. Okay? Except, let's look at shoplifting laws in Texas. Penalties for shoplifting in Texas. Texas Penal Code classifies shoplifting as either a misdemeanor or felony offense. The following is a breakdown of shoplifting crimes and punishments. Shoplifting is a Class C misdemeanor when the property value is taken under $100. Class C misdemeanors are punishable by a fine up to $500. So again, it's nothing. Shoplifting is a Class B misdemeanor when the property value taken is more than $100 but less than $750. Class B misdemeanors are punishable up to a fine up to $2,000 and 180 days in jail. Shoplifting is a Class A misdemeanor when the property value is taken is $750 or more but less than $2,500. So technically, in the state of Texas, the misdemeanor categorization is higher than the state of California. Okay? Do you want to know what else? Do you want to know what else is considered under the Texas Penal Code to be a Class C misdemeanor? Butt sex. Okay? Having gay sex. If a person commits an offense, in the state of Texas, if he engages in deviant sexual intercourse with another individual of the same sex, or B, an offense under this section is a Class C misdemeanor. Sodomy. You sure? Source? The sodomy one? There you go. Texas Penal Code 21-6, homosexual conduct. A person commits an offense if he engages in deviant sexual intercourse with another individual of the same sex. Deviate, not deviant. I don't know what that means. No, it's not deviant, it's deviate. So why are penalties so low for these crimes? In Australia, we have similar laws which allow people to just constantly shoplift because it's not that big of a deal, okay? That's the real reason. It's an infinitely larger burden on the legal system if they were to prosecute such things. Okay? It's not as big as a burden on this law was repealed in 2023. Oh shit. Wait, was it? That statute was made unconstitutional, so it's literally just on the books and literally cannot be prosecuted. It's quite literally just a vice signal. That is all. Anyway, it's stupid, but it doesn't really matter. The truth doesn't matter. The truth does not matter. All right, let's continue. Speaking on how the truth doesn't fucking matter, let's go.
And this is the key within the subset
Fox
is inflation.
News.
It is lower than it was, obviously, when it was high in 2022, right, but it's still 3% above the prices are now 20% above where they were food prices when Joe Biden took over. Keep in mind with inflation, it's only going up 3% instead of 9%. Inflation might be going down, but the price of goods is still up.
Right. And when you look at that mountain right there.
Yeah, of course the price of goods is still up. It would be deflation if the prices of goods went down. And in certain sectors, deflation is a necessity. Okay. But like, if there was mass deflation, you'd be in a panic.
With that blue line right there, what happened at that point? That was when all that federal money was coming into the economy, and that's what caused the inflation to spike up over north of 9%. And who was the person who broke the tie in the Senate to make sure that the American Rescue Plan
had the
went
gavel
through?
Yes.
She absolutely did.
Kamala
It was
Harris.
50-50. Kamala Harris said, okay, I'm going to pass that. Then she also broke the tie when it came to the 2022 and 2023 fiscal year spending budgets, which pumped more spending into the economy, causing the inflation that we're talking about. So she has got her fingerprints on inflation.
Well, it's interesting because Politico has a new piece that came out this morning. Can I just vote for her instead of Biden? And it talks about the Kamala Harris campaign trying to scramble to get the Hispanic vote. Mm-hmm. And they thought that she would be able to recover after Biden when it came to the border and all of that. Well, it comes to find out that the number one issues for Latinos and Hispanic Americans is the economy.
Of course.
And she's struggling on that issue, and they're not rallying behind her. So whatever group you're talking about in the country, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, white Americans, everyone is struggling right now.
Well, Axios is reporting that her campaign is now saying they might not have enough time to release her policies. The reason she doesn't want her policies released is because her campaign is saying she's flip-flopping on a lot of her past voting record, including no fracking. The list goes on and on of things that she wants to take away or did want to take away your health insurance plan. Now she's big on the border. She was never big on the border. You see the inflation rates. That was under the Biden-Harris administration. And now Trump is going after her for all these expensive items in the grocery store, how high gas prices are. She can't defend herself because she, over the past few years, has been touting Bidenomics. Look at Trump's latest campaign ad.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Biden.
Aren't they basically saying that inflation is slow, but the cost of goods haven't gone down yet, meaning food suppliers or retailers are keeping the prices up? Well, it depends. What they're saying is that while inflation has obviously went down, the prices of food have stayed up, which is, of course, like that is what happens. Inflation means prices are still going up. It's just by a much more manageable rate. That's how this works. If you want to lower prices for certain goods without deflating the economy in its entirety, okay, then you need to do certain things. One of those could be instituting price caps, for example, or going after price gougers in the way that Kamala Harris claimed she was going to do. Okay? I very much like that personally. There is not a single consumer good that Americans enjoy that isn't heavily subsidized by the American government, okay, by taxpayer dollars. So if they were to not play ball, you could shut that faucet off. Okay? You're about to run headlong into another thing that's like the tax brackets. Americans think inflation is down means goods cost the same as they did before inflation, when it actually means they're still getting more expensive, just not as quickly. I know. This is another thing that people don't understand. The problem is they don't know what causes inflation. They don't want to acknowledge that many things contribute to inflation. They just want to say government spending equals inflation equals bad. This is a good example. For 5 years, I've been gaining weight every year by a rate of 10 pounds. But this year, my weight gain decreased to 2 pounds. So why am I still 242 pounds? Exactly. You didn't lose weight. You just managed your weight gain.
Economics.
Bidenomics.
And he goes on to say, you know, she's saying she's trying to divorce herself from it. They tie her to it. Now, Harris comes back, and she's talking about this is her version of how she's strong in the economy. Watch.
When I am elected president, I will make it a top priority to bring down costs. I will fight to give money back to working and middle-class Americans.
So why hasn't she made it a top priority up until this point?
Exactly. And then if you look at the full ad, when she goes after Donald Trump, she doesn't have any of his words. She just puts photos of him in that ad. Right. Whereas in Donald Trump's ad, he highlights her words. That just shows you they have nothing to run against him when it comes to economy. They can steal his ideas, but they can't use his words and say, oh, okay, you know, he's going to get rid of Medicare and all. They say that in the ad, but they have no quote or any video of him saying he's going to get rid of Medicare.
But here's what I want to hear. She says she's going to make everything more affordable. That's the theme, affordability. And in fact, that 1 minute everyday ad, they're going to start running in battleground states right now. $150 million ad buy. They raised $500 million in 5 weeks, so they got plenty of money to spend
what is
on
her
that.
plan?
But here's the thing. That's my point, Ainsley. She talks about how I'm going to make things more affordable, but she doesn't explain how. And if she would explain how, then people would go, okay, I think that's a good idea or a bad idea. But by keeping it broad and vague, then it's like, well, she said she was going to make things more affordable. I'm just going to trust her.
But once she says how, many people are going to say, why the delay? Why not start now then?
Only 29% of registered voters say that they're doing better than they were under Biden. 64%, that's 2 out of 3, say they are worse off. Independents strongly disagree, saying 21% said they are better off under Biden. Only 21%. 71% wish they had Trump economy back. That's independents. So that's obviously what Trump wants to be talking about now, and he's proud of what he did. The only thing that she has brought out is she brought out price controls. It didn't go over well. She also brought out cracking down on gouging. That didn't go over well. Caging. Because, that's how she pronounces it. And also the other thing she brought up is on housing, which is an interesting approach. I am going to incentivize the building of 2 million homes.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I mean,
joining us now is Tulsi Gabbard.
Let's see why Tulsi Gabbard is endorsing Donald Trump. And it has nothing to do with the fact that she is a charlatan, a grifter, a right-wing hack, a person who is mostly preoccupied with being a Fox News commentator. No, not at all. I'm sure there are very good reasons for why she did this. After all, she is my anti-imperialist hero, my icon. Classic.
2020 Democrat presidential candidate and Fox News contributor. Tulsi, you were there today along with President Trump. How important was it for him to be there today?
You know, one thing that ran through my mind as I was there, joining President Trump and honoring the ultimate sacrifice that these 13 service members paid, sharing the sorrow that these Gold Star families still feel and will always feel at the loss of their loved ones. Meanwhile, where is Kamala Harris? Where is Joe Biden? Well, Joe Biden's on vacation, and Kamala Harris is running a campaign based on joy and vibes and laughing her way around. I can tell you who wasn't laughing were those families, some of the survivors of that attack in this disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. This is personal for me, Judge, and so many other Americans who know firsthand the cost of war. We've seen and experienced it firsthand. We know how important it is to have a commander-in-chief who values every single one of our lives and who has the strength and the courage to exercise all means of diplomacy, meeting with dictators, allies, adversaries, partners in the pursuit of peace, recognizing that war is always and should always be a last resort. I endorse President Trump today because he has those qualities and he's proven that he is that commander-in-chief. Kamala Harris has proven she is not. We're closer to the brink of nuclear war now than ever before, closer to World War III because of Harris and Biden.
Bro, you're just playing Fox News with zero commentary. Like, who wants to see this respectfully? Can you hold on? It's been a minute and 39 seconds, dumbass. The fuck is wrong with you? Like, I already opened up by talking about how she's a charlatan right-wing grifter who's a Fox News contributor. God damn. Chatters say I pause too much. Now there's chatters saying I don't pause enough. Are you okay? Didn't Trump just say he thinks the Medal of Honor is worse than a billionaire donor award? He loves the military. I mean, it doesn't matter. Trump says a bunch of shit about the military and the veterans and stuff, some of which is actually kind of cool. Okay.
Biden and their policies.
You know, Tulsi, a mother of one of the slain troops spoke out against Kamala Harris today. Take a listen.
Vice President Harris is now running to be commander-in-chief. I wonder, do you have a message for her?
You are with the whole administration in all of this. You hold the same accountability as President Biden does. You were right beside him in making these decisions. This administration has tried to sweep it under the rug, and that's absolutely not going to work for this.
Dude, what the 13 of our best soldiers. 13 of our best soldiers were killed on the 3rd anniversary of the Kabul airport attack. Name 3 things you like about Trump. Easy, okay? Massive butt, okay? I love that he's thick as okay? Straight up. Thickest ass, like, love that, okay? Number 2, he's kind of funny and zesty, okay? He's very telegenic. He's very zesty. And last but not least, number 3, bisexual, ace, aromantic visibility at the top of the ticket. Okay, this has never happened before. We've had gay presidents. We've had bi presidents. We've never had a president that is also technically ace and aromantic. Those are 3 massive reasons why I will be voting for Donald Trump. I can't even get myself to say it. Someone's going to clip that and be like, oh, he said it. Anyway, here's how Trump can still win. Brother, how did you not mention his nussy? He's ace and biromantic. Okay, sorry, you're right. He's asexual and biromantic, not aromantic.
This nation.
You know, Tulsi, your response to that?
You know, I want to know if Kamala Harris has personally called.
Where's that chatter? Chatter said, damn, you lost 10,000 people because you said I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. Where is that chatter? Damn, you lost 10K viewers from not voting for Kamala. All you do is whine, says Sus Von Sant. Let me tell you something, okay? I lost 20,000 viewers when I said what Israel was doing was a genocide. If you think that, like, I'm going to moderate my opinions due to my viewership, welcome. That's not going to happen. So I don't know why you're in here trying to chirp at me instead of going back to the communities that you're at that were riding with Biden until the very last moment and then switched up and are now riding with Kamala Harris, who are not getting these numbers. Go help them out, okay? Go help them out. I don't know why you're in here. I'm sure the 10 Tulsi diehards really swung for this election cycle. Yeah. If liberals get mad at me because I criticize Kamala Harris when this is the most important election of our lifetime or whatever, then so be it. I want the Democratic Party to actually fight against the Republican Party. If you don't want that, if you want them to capitulate, you know, have fun with that. Okay? I don't think my demands are unreasonable either. I moderate them, at least, not on what my idealistic solution is, but on, I literally moderate them to tune it to the American, like the broader American electorate's needs and demands. Okay? Like, I often will show you polling that demonstrates that some of these things that I think Kamala Harris should be doing is good for the election. It's not like these are things that are just beyond the pale that I'm advocating for, you know? The view count bumps probably just don't consider that school also just started. No, the view count bump came from the DNC. It was just a huge thing, right? Like, obviously a lot more people were locked in. You should rather say centrists instead of liberals. I mean, it's true. It is the centrists, you know? I'll just go back to the United Center so that I can make my own convention happen, so that I can get 60K people in here again. Is the viewership really that important to you? Did I not just tell you that what's more important to me than viewership is, you know, staying on message. I literally just told you that. Did you not hear that? Did you just hear what you wanted to hear? Is that what's going on? Seems like you're not listening. Sorry, I tabbed out. If I cared about viewership that much, I'd either be a liberal, staying the course with the Democratic Party, okay, or B, a right-wing grifter. Much easier to be a right-wing grifter than to be a left-wing commentator. It's part of the reason why so many of those supposedly centrist commentators oftentimes lean heavily right. There is a material benefit to gain from that. I'd rather have right-wing than fake left. What? No, I would not rather have right-wing. No, I would not have right-wing at all. That's a bad sock account. I agree.
Called every one of these 13 families and the families of those who came home injured. There was a triple amputee there today, there to honor the loss of his brothers and sisters. Has she called them to apologize? To apologize for the decision that they made that resulted in this disastrous withdrawal and an explosion and an attack that took these 13 service members' lives that was completely preventable. Kamala Harris is completely unfit to serve as our commander-in-chief. Voters, regardless of whether you're Democrats or Republicans, need to know that truth, because that's really what this election is about, Judge. It's not about Democrats versus Republicans. Right. It's about having a president who stands for freedom, peace, and prosperity, which is Donald Trump, versus having a president in Kamala Harris who attacks our freedoms and censors us and uses political retaliation, who has pushed us to the brink of war, and who's created this economic hardship for Americans across the country. That's really the choice that we have before us. And for me, as a service member, as a veteran, it's a very clear choice. I love our country. I cherish peace and freedom, and I'm supporting Donald Trump in this election so that he can be our commander-in-chief once again.
You know, it's interesting, Tulsi. CNN today tried to...
I do like that she still tries to maintain this like anti-war grift, which is pretty funny. Holy shit, I didn't know Tulsi was so cucked. I was never a fan of her, but holy shit, I thought she has some integrity or morals. No, you must not have been paying attention. This is Tulsi Gabbard through and through. There was never a moment where she had any integrity. She was like, I'm against American imperialism. I think America is engaging in a lot of unnecessary wars. And then she literally went and worked with the CIA in Africa. Okay? Like, what are you talking about? She's always been this psychopathic, rabid Islamophobic grifter. She was also homophobic, too. Is there a particular reason you put your zins in the literal Twin Tower configurations? Like, why not just keep them in a box or something? Why are you asking so many goddamn questions, dude? Huh?
Attack Trump for attending the wreath ceremony. Take a listen.
Is he politicizing these soldiers' deaths? Should he even be at Arlington National Cemetery if he's going to make some politics out of this?
I just look at President Biden, under whose leadership we actually ended and made the tough decision to end our nation's longest war. That was the right decision by President Biden.
You know, I guess the question, Tulsi, should have been, why wasn't Biden in attendance as well? But I want to ask you, just 4 years ago, you were one of many Democrats running against Donald Trump. Today, you endorse Trump. Why?
Like I said,
I think you're right. They're telegraphing that the Republicans' win condition is Israel-Iran war, that we have to fight. A woman can't be a wartime president, confirmed by woman Democrat. No, they're saying that, but more importantly, they're saying Tulsi Gabbard has no base of support. Okay, she has no base of support whatsoever. But the minor base of support that she has, or the minor ways in which she's like been able to penetrate broader consciousness, is like the veteran who's anti-war. Okay, this basically goes along with that narrative that Trump is the anti-war the anti-war pick. You couldn't be more wrong. Dude, nobody cares that she went with Bashar al-Assad, okay? I am 100% right on this. People see her as the anti-war veteran, okay? It's not correct, but that's what I'm just telling you how people see him as, and you're sending me a link. Like, people don't give a shit about the 13 brave, best veterans that got killed in Afghanistan. But let me tell you how little people give a shit about Syria, okay? You're so full of shit, dog. She was just doing civil affairs work for special operations. Why do you have to make it sound so insidious? Yeah, exactly. You know, just a little bit of civil affairs work in support of a special operations mission That chatter is joking, okay? Calm down. Everybody, before you yell at him, he's being sarcastic. No, he's not. No, he is. Anyway, civil affairs is literally psyops. It's even advertised as such. I know a lot of SF washouts go to civil affairs, special forces washouts. Anyway, so basically what's happening here is, she did that. That was cool. She's never been consistent on anything.
I've just made the case. The choice in this election is very clear, and I'm confident that if elected as president again, Donald Trump, he has the strength and the backbone to stand up to the military-industrial complex and keep us out of these unnecessary wars of choice. I want to point back to that clip you just played.
Even when she says unnecessary wars of choice, she's always like leaving out wars of necessity, okay? She's not anti-war on principle. She's not even anti-war on her communications. She's simply saying, and this is a neat little trick that Republicans try to play all the time, when they'll be like, oh, we don't want to go to war with Russia in Ukraine, okay? The irony, of course, is this is her literally advocating to stay in Afghanistan while simultaneously being like unnecessary wars of choice. But what's hilarious about this, beyond the wars of choice, blah, 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 okay, is that Republicans love talking about not going to unnecessary wars, and then will openly demonstrate what they think is a necessary war. What's a necessary war? A war with China. What's a necessary war? A war with Mexico. Okay? These guys literally will turn around and be like, oh yeah, why are we in war with Russia over Ukraine? I mean, let them have it. Who gives a f? We should be taking those funds to bomb Mexico. Okay? Like, that's not anti-war at all. You're just pro-different wars, I guess. Okay? I think centrists are more warmongers than the Republicans. No, you're a dummy for thinking that. Both are the same level of warmonger. The only reason why you're thinking that, however, is because at least Republicans try to make it seem like they're peaceful doves, which is hilarious. They're not.
Let's remember that Joe Biden on that debate stage did not even remember that his decision resulted in the deaths of 13 of my brothers and sisters in uniform. Donald Trump this morning, he didn't have a big crowd out there at Arlington Cemetery. It was him standing and grieving with these Gold Star families for hours. This wasn't just a drive-by photo op. He stayed with them for hours and helped to...
This is the funniest thing to lie about, which is that, like, Trump is an equal opportunity narcissist. Like, he doesn't give a shit. And it's not because, like, he personally hates veterans or whatever. I know that, like, liberal media says that, okay? Liberal media will be like, oh, Trump hates veterans personally. Like, no, he just hates everybody, okay? He doesn't give a shit about anything other than himself. So, yeah, he'll sometimes be like, yeah, they're suckers and losers. Who gives a Trump smiling and giving a thumbs up over the grave of a fallen soldier at Arlington. It's so funny. He made the Gold Star family also put the thumbs up. Yo, he is a freak, dude. He is such a freak bitch. It's awesome. Now, obviously, I don't have the same feelings that this guy has. Trump smiling and giving a thumbs over the grave of a fallen soldier in Arlington. Absolutely disgusting. Like, my point is, Trump doesn't give a fuck about anyone or anything, okay? He just gives a fuck about Trump. That's it, okay? That's it. So sometimes he comes across as, you know, not holding the same level of reverence that you're supposed to hold for our beautiful veterans or whatever, right? And that's because that's just him being Trump. That's it. Breaking RFK remains on Wisconsin ballot, meaning Kennedy can't remove himself from the majority of the 7 battleground swing states where he said he'd hurt Trump's chances. Yeah, I think it's really funny that RFK endorsed Donald Trump, which might have the funniest outcome, because if you're an RFK voter, you're very stupid, right? You're already not the most intelligent guy out there. And I suspect that there are going to be RFK voters who end up voting for RFK thinking that that automatically qualifies as a Trump vote. I can't wait for RFK voters who know that he endorsed Donald Trump to literally go and vote for RFK thinking that they're actually voting for Trump. Like, oh, well, he endorsed him. Mark my words. Mark my words. I'm telling you right now, there are going to be people who literally vote for RFK Jr. thinking that they voted for Donald Trump because RFK actually endorsed Donald Trump. I think you're wrong on this one. I am so right on this one. You are crazy. Dude, come on. There is an absolute certainty. Mark my words. When it happens, you'll be there. The media will write articles about it. The media will go and talk to RFK voters who voted for RFK thinking that it translated to Donald Trump. And we'll be here watching, and we'll be doing a hogwatch on that specifically and laughing about it. If it gets so out of control, I can see Donald Trump trying to claim RFK voters as votes for him. Even election fraud. They wouldn't let RFK off the ballot. Many beautiful patriots voted for him thinking they were voting for me. I'm telling you. It's like, this is especially relevant. I mean, another version of this is like down ballot voting. Like, for example, in the state of Michigan, if you vote the party line, okay, like there's a box in the state of Michigan. If you vote party line, it automatically qualifies to vote for Kamala Harris. People in the state of Michigan, if they don't want to vote for Kamala Harris but want to vote down ballot for the Democratic ticket, have to not check that one off. Okay? It's an easy way to vote. It's understandable. It's ease of access. But the reality is plenty of people in Michigan who might not want to vote for Kamala Harris but vote down ballot for the Democrat will go for the straight ticket Democrat and then leave the area for the presidential race blank. That will automatically qualify as a Kamala Harris vote. Okay? Straight up. If you don't know, now you know. Okay? The only way that it gets written as a vote for someone else is if they actually actively will write for someone else. If they do straight party ticket and then go specifically to the presidential ballot and, mark someone else, then it will override it. But if you keep it empty as a protest vote or whatever, you will automatically, if you have voted straight ticket, in the state of Michigan and you kept the presidential part empty, that automatically transfers as a vote to Kamala Harris. If you voted straight ticket for the Republican Party, okay, and you didn't vote and you kept, maybe you're a never Trump Republican, and if you kept it empty, then it ultimately will be a vote for Donald Trump. Obviously, it's different for every state, just so learn how your state conducts its own ballots. Yeah, pretty sure it's not just Michigan law. My parents do this for Republicans in Missouri. Yeah. It's not voter fraud. It's just a convenient thing that many states have actually fought for, as a matter of fact. Voting can be complicated. Voting can be confusing. And that's a reason why they have that. The party line has become a huge deal in your true home state of New Jersey. It's being fought to abolish the party lines because the Dem machine made it too powerful in the primaries. The New Jersey ballot has changed because of the tight, straight ticket voting. In individual American states, Georgia abolished it. Indiana abolished it, but retains it for all other partisan races. Illinois abolished straight ticket voting in 1997. Michigan, general election ballots in Michigan have 3 sections: partisan section, nonpartisan section, and the proposal section. Voters in Michigan have long been able to vote a straight ticket or a split ticket, voting for individual candidates or individual offices. Straight ticket voting only involved in the partisan section of the ballot, meaning that if an individual wished to vote in a nonpartisan race or for or against the proposal, they have to cast those votes individually. It's just one extra box that you can take if you want to, but it does get confusing for a lot of people. You guys staged a coup all over the world and still have a shitty election system? I don't think the American election system is all that shitty. I think one of the worst aspects of the American election system is obviously unlimited funds for each individual candidate, right? Super PACs, dark money funding. And beyond that, the fact that it's not a federal holiday when you're voting. It's not in terms of like how votes are tabulated, calculated and stuff like that. It's not the worst. Obviously the Electoral College makes it really shitty too. But the things that I'm mentioning are not what make it shitty. The things that I was mentioning in terms of like how to vote is not what makes it shitty. Anyway. No, you're completely wrong. First past the post is an L. I don't disagree with you. The Electoral College was good as colonies, not a superpower. I don't think it was ever good. If there's no Electoral College, no Republican will be elected ever. Yes, that is true, which is why they will never abolish the Electoral College. Do you want America to be ruled by New York and California, Los Angeles? How dare you? Land votes around these parts. Cows vote around these parts. You know, I do, by the way. Yes, I do. If the most amount of people vote for a thing, I think that should be the thing. That is just democracy. Very stupid that people advocate against that. But such is life.
Console them and thank them for their sacrifice that they have made for our great country.
Was it emotional for the president?
It was extremely emotional. It was extremely emotional for everyone who was there. It was groups of loved ones and family and friends. It was 2 survivors who were there at that attack at Abbey Gate in Kabul who came back, who were seriously injured now for the rest of their lives. It was such a powerful, powerful day. I'm grateful to have been there to offer my own sincere gratitude for their service and sacrifice. But it's so important that we have leaders who do this, who not just do it for a photo op, but actually express, as President Trump did this morning. I saw it, I felt it, I experienced it, the sorrow that he felt for the great loss that not only these families have felt, but our country endures.
Well, and he clearly didn't look at his watch as Joe Biden did.
Bush won the popular vote in 2004. It's not impossible for a Republican to win the popular vote. That's such a funny thing to say because that is the first and last time that the Republicans have won the popular vote in the last 30 plus years. That is insane. Okay? And for that to happen, 9/11 had to happen. Okay? Like literally a genuine like collective psychosis moment had to occur for a Republican to win the popular vote. And it hasn't happened since. Kid Fury, thank you. No, the 2000 election doesn't count. The fuck? 2000 doesn't count either. No, Bush 2 is the only time. Bush 2 is the only time in the last 30 plus years that the Republicans have actually won the popular vote. Kid Fury, thank you for the 20 community gift to subs. Why did Trump do this? I'm so confused. Tulsi is literally irrelevant. Dude, he is trying to pick anything he can. This is, I mean, the guy who he picked said he's going to stop the crime of what? Chemtrails. I call them tanker terminators. We are paid more than any other pilot. Chemtrails pilot whistleblower. I'm convinced the majority of them are remotely operated. The tech obviously exists, and there's way too many. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tweeted this out literally yesterday. We are going to stop this crime. That's the guy that Donald Trump is now campaigning alongside. You don't do these kinds of things unless you're desperate, dude. Environmental group calls for investigation of RFK Jr. chainsawing a whale head and carrying it on top of his car across state boundaries. The former presidential candidate may have committed a felony by transporting a marine mammal skull, the Center for Biological Diversity Action Fund said. Kennedy cut off a whale's head with a chainsaw in or around 1994 after finding out that it washed up on Squaw Island in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. Daughter Kit Kennedy told Town and Country magazine in 2012. He bungee corded to the roof of his family's minivan and drove it to Mount Kisco, New York, he said, or she said. Every time we accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour into the windows of the car, and it was the rankest thing on the planet, Kick said in the interview. We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out, and the people on the highway were giving us the finger, but that was just the normal day-to-day stuff for us. I don't know, like, the statute of limitations for carrying a mammal skull, okay, across state boundaries or whatever. I don't really care about it. I just think that, like, this story is so insane, and yet So normal for RFK Jr. I love him. Damn, man, we can't have shit anymore. The liberals are going to take away my whalehead rights? Yes. How's my favorite fat feminist? You talking about your mom? Like, I don't understand. How's my favorite fat feminist? You look like a fat feminist. Well. Come on. I was joking. That was hilarious, though. Kamala can play with my balls. Do you love him or are you in love with him? Both. I love him and I'm in love with him. Anyway,